This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we break down episode 2 of Loki on Disney Plus. And is Batman bad at sex? HBO MAX releases a trailer for season 3 of Titans. Batman 89 seen on the set of the Flash movie, and a new NBC game show ends up in a shitty situation. All that and more on this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, June 21st, 2021.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
What's up, listener? How's it going? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us is a dude who puts the fist in Mephisto in more ways than one. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
I grease it up first.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm sure
before I do that. Yeah.
I'm sure Mephisto appreciates that.
Well, if he doesn't, I don't care.
It was Mephisto all along, listener. Just remember that. Okay, well, gang, we started with a fisting joke, and it's just going to get bad from there.
Oh.
Let's just get into the geek news here.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
I have a feeling this episode is going to be slightly more NSFW or
A little risque.
NSFW, not safe for work than usual.
A little blue.
A little blue. It's going to get a little blue, so if you're listening, at dinner, you probably want to pop some headphones on and there's kids around. I want to talk about some DC news this week in the news segment. As we haven't talked about DC shit, it's been kind of quiet, but they do have things happening. Let's start with my favorite cartoon, the Harley Quinn animated adult cartoon that is now on HBO MAX. Now, you've heard me talk about this cartoon. They get away with a lot on this cartoon. I'm talking language, topics. They bleep the C word. They drew one line there. And in a recent Variety article talking to the producers, Justin Halper and Patrick Shoemaker, they were talking about how because of the show is about villains, DC Entertainment has kind of allowed them to get away with a lot of things, pushing the boundaries. But when it comes to the heroes, it's a different story. Here's the quote from Justin Halper, and he says, "A perfect example of this is that in this third season of Harley, when we had a moment where Batman was going down on Batwoman.
Oh, shit.
And DC was like, you can't do that. You absolutely cannot do that. They're like, heroes don't do that, DC said. So we said, are you saying heroes are just selfish lovers? They were like, no. It's that we sell consumer toys for heroes. It's hard to sell a toy if Batman is also going down on someone.
What?
Wow. Comment, guys?
I don't know. I think that's a very open comment that you can mold to a narrative. Like, I think that they're, generally speaking, they dropped the ball on just saying we don't want him to be portrayed in a sexual nature.
Right.
But then that's hypocrisy, because in the Killing Joke they did it with
he banged Batgirl on the roof in the movie, in the cartoon.
But I mean, it could be misconstrued. They're probably just saying, well, we don't want him. It's Batman. We don't want him to be. I think that Killing Joke was still like PG-13, and this shit's definitely more of a hard R.
No, Killing Joke was R. That was an R-rated movie. I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but still, they're probably just saying that like they don't want Batman having sex, like in whatever.
Oral sex. It's specific.
Well, yeah, because then it like that's a very specific kind of like if you have just like people making out and rolling all over, it's not really specific, but that's a specific act.
It's a very specific act.
I don't think it's they trying to say that Batman doesn't, please women.
Anthony, let me ask you: is it the fact that heroes just don't do that, or is Batman bad at sex? It's possible.
I mean, both of those questions are silly.
I mean,
that's why I'm here.
people are using it as a butt of a joke. It's funny to joke about it. It's actually so many fucking hilarious memes have come out of this. But
yes, they have.
People are having fun with it, but I don't really think it means anything.
I think DC made the right call in terms of stepping in. I don't watch Harley Quinn. Me and Ruggs, I think, both watched the first episode and wasn't for us. Apparently, it's doing really well and people love it. I remember when The Killing Joke came out, I felt a little, I wouldn't say uncomfortable, but I just was like, this is not weird. This is not bad. Like, this is just very strange to see a portray a sex scene between Batman and Batgirl.
They were in costume too, right? It wasn't like it was Bruce Wayne and
and I mean, once you go into, not to like say there's anything wrong with it, but once you go into like oral, like that, now you're just crossing into like a kind of like a fantasy porn thing going on here, like a freaking what's that anime term?
Oh, hentai
sort of
there.
thing. Like, there's just certain things that I don't think like DC should be involved doing. Like, that's really not their brand.
It's not, but this show is it's an adult show, and they
I think that they made the mistake with The Killing Joke, and they were like, oh, we better not do this again.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember, The Killing Joke got a lot of negative publicity because of that, and then you would throw this. It's just not what this is not DC. This isn't what Marvel. Like, I mean, they don't do these. This isn't their brand at all.
I mean, you could see Batman's dick in the comic book and that one Black Label thing. But I would look at
that got a lot. That wasn't very well received either.
No, it wasn't. And I would look at all my Batman toys differently. But I just think it's fucking hilarious.
I mean, as adults, I don't think I would look at it too differently. Yeah. But I'd also see like there's the brand. You can't just like have a property just do whatever it wants with your characters like that.
I just think that they saw the opportunity to make a hot take, especially one that has like a feminist vibe to it.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you can't go down. What are you, DJ Khaled? You can't go down on a girl.
That was the one joke.
Know? And that was like one of the big ones. And that was one that I made that I had no idea that like everybody had made that joke when that was like the first thing that popped in my head.
Is it okay if Catwoman reciprocates afterwards? Is that okay then? Where are the rules? What's the parameters?
I just don't think.
No, I see what you're saying about the brand. I give these guys props for even thinking about doing that and pushing it and trying to go there. Interestingly enough, there's another quote here that says a source close to the series tells them that the executive producers are often incredulous about what they have been able to get away with so far in the first 2 seasons. So they're pushing it. And
I haven't watched the show enough to see how far they've pushed it. I just think that would be. There's a line.
Harley kisses what's her name? The plant lady, Poison Ivy. They like hook up. So they push a lot, but those are the villains, the bad guys. It's different with Harley. And so Zack Snyder stirred the pot even further. Did you guys see what he posted on his Twitter? This illustration simply with the one word canon. And I don't know where this illustration came from, if he commissioned this. It is a comic book illustration of Catwoman. It's not graphic, but it is. It's Catwoman on the roof, and you're looking down at her body as she's laying down. So you see her head, and you see her boobs, and her legs are spread open, and there's Batman's
head. You don't see
head.
her boobs.
You don't see anything. Yeah, you see her boobs are covered. But then it's just like Batman's head, right? Alluding to it. But I was like...
you clearly see what's going on.
You see what's going on. But it's not graphic, but it's graphic.
No.
But my first question was, who fucking drew this? Was this in a comic book? Where did he get this from?
Seems like it's from a comic book.
It does. That's what I thought. Or is this part of his like twisted personal Batman fetish collection? I don't know. Could be.
I don't know where that image is off the top of my head, but I don't recognize it.
No, I don't know. The style seems kind of familiar, and I was like,
you could easily go and there's fucking fan art of everything, and I'm talking about Batman fucking Robin, Batman fucking Joker, Batman getting bent over by Bane. Like there's artwork of that everywhere because in this day and age, the fans just will do it's on the internet. They do it, it's up there, and then they write fucking fan articles about it and fan stories and fan fiction about it.
Listen, Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle have hooked up several times. I'm absolutely certain he's gone down there sometime as Bruce Wayne, but like just not in costume. Maybe in costume. I think it's happened.
I'm sure it's happened. I'm sure there's been like controversial stuff. It's just not. I keep harping back on this, but let fans do that stuff. Let fans draw that stuff. I've been thinking about like Like if you wanted to see
a
Godzilla
good
fuck
point.
Mothra,
Yeah.
let the fans do that. But
Don't
like
make it
Toho
official.
shouldn't be
Yes,
doing
I
that.
see
Or
what
like
you're saying.
DC. It's just again, it's just not. It's not in their wheelhouse to be doing these kinds
Right.
of things.
Maybe DC made a good choice, actually. Wow. By
I don't know. I mean,
stopping them there.
sure. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't watch the Harley Quinn show, so maybe it would have fit right in, and maybe they've done shit. Maybe they've done super controversial stuff already that I've just missed, and I'm just being an old fart.
I watched a good portion of it, and I didn't watch it all. I think I watched most of it though, but I think I might have skipped like 5 or 6 episodes, and then just got to the end to see how it wrapped up. But yeah, it would have fit fine in it.
It would have kind of fit.
Been. But once again, and I'm going to say this, I know everybody's going to cringe when I say it. I hate when they do shit, and it's in like done by DC themselves, where they take Batman and they just make a joke out of him. I just fucking hate that. I really fucking hate that with a passion. Like, I feel like you're going to do, if like Mad Magazine does a joke about Batman or The Simpsons or whatever, but DC shouldn't be fucking
He's not a
putting that
joke
out.
in the show, though. You know, and it's really
No, but
about
they did that
Harley.
like Batman with Harley Quinn movie, and Robin fucked Harley Quinn, and it was weird there.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was,
Wow,
you know,
DC really likes to have their characters just have sex with each other everywhere. It's interesting.
well, they're desperate. What do you want?
Yes, maybe that'll get up buying comic books.
I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. It's just, the sex doesn't bother me as much as making Batman into like this, like colorful, like campy character. And I fucking hate that.
Adam West Batman would definitely do it, I think.
Oh yeah. He's going down on everybody.
Oh,
including
everybody.
guys.
Yes. Guys, girls, doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
weird. Yes. Listener, but dude, this story was just huge all week and it was hilarious. Had to be addressed. Listener, let us know. What do you think about Batman going down? Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's a closed, exclusive group just for you, listener. We're in there. You'll meet other awesome listeners and make a friend for life. Absolutely. Okay, more DC news. Tiddens has put out a first trailer for season 3. Now, this show is not good. The first season was a clunky mess. The second season started with an episode that should have been at the end of the first season. It got all fucked up. The second season maybe slightly improved, just a little bit, not much, but it did introduce a lot of things like your Connor Kent and your Jason Todd. In this third trailer, they are really going forward really fast, burning through a lot of storylines in like one season. It looks like they're going to do a Death in the Family storyline and the Red Hood storyline all really quick in about like 10 episodes. I don't know if that's a good idea. But
Where's Batman in this?
Well, you see Batman, you see Jorah Mormont. He's there. That's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, but is he in costume? Fucking shit up? Like,
he's no.
Oh.
Okay, well, so
Wait, Jorah Mormont is Bruce Wayne.
Jorah Mormont is Glenn something. I forget his name.
He's super old.
He's supposed to be like Bruce in his 50s, but he looks a lot older than 50s. He looks really old. That's the Bruce Wayne of this universe. What did you guys think of the trailer? Because you hear that you see people dead by Joker's hands with the smiling. You hear him laugh, and there's a quick shot of Joker with a crowbar slamming down on a body, just like in the comics. I was like, oh shit. What the fuck is going on here? Anthony, what did you think? I know you don't watch the show.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for me to even have an opinion on a show that I don't really watch. And the first episode I ever saw, I thought it was awful.
Fuck Batman. That was the first episode.
Yeah, also like dragging the guy's face on like a glass
you didn't like
door.
that?
Or
That's
whatever.
great. He's edgy.
Just stupid.
Edgy.
Yeah, I mean, they're going with the Death in the Family storyline. You know, they're teasing it right off the bat. I think you saw a shot of Joker crowbarring some dude. Might have been Jason Todd. For all we know,
it's gonna be Jason Todd.
So, yeah, I mean, is this show good? I don't know.
It's okay.
I quit on the show after I have a negative opinion of the show because I quit on it after the first episode.
So the end of the second season, they finally get him. Spoilers, whatever. Nobody's watching. They finally get Dick Grayson in the Nightwing suit and stuff. So, Ruggs, what do you think about this? The problem with me is you're supposed to hate Jason Todd. This is happening so quickly. We barely know. If you watch the show, you kind of know this Jason Todd. And for them to go and get him killed and then get him resurrected? Are they going to use the Lazarus Pit? You see a shot of him in the Red Hood helmet real quick. He's going to be Red Hood all of a sudden. It's really fast.
It just looks like a desperate, we need to get people's attention. We need people to tune in. Let's use this. It's a gimmick. Like, this is completely, like, Titans is completely wrong in every single way.
It's not
like,
as wrong
okay,
as Gotham,
so,
though. Gotham was way wronger. This is less wrong, but
Okay.
still wrong.
So in this show, he's now Nightwing. He's in his 20s.
Yeah.
Jason Todd is the new Robin, but
Correct.
there is no active Batman that we know of.
Yeah, not really. Batman's kind of
So
retired.
Batman's like in retirement, and there's just like a Robin just doing his thing.
Yeah.
And
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And so he's not an active Batman. So now this new Robin that's been operating on his own, hanging out with the Titans, is now going to get beat up by the Joker. Bruce Wayne is probably not even going to be in it. And then he's going to turn into the Red Hood, all without Batman being involved.
Correct.
None of this is going to play out right. It's just a cheap gimmick to get to Red Hood so they could fight. He's the new bad guy in this season. That's all it is.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right. They're aware of the Joker in the show. There's also quick shots of Stephen Crane, Scarecrow's going to be in this, and Barbara Gordon in a wheelchair, and I think she's going to be Commissioner Gordon, meaning their Killing Joke event where Joker shoots her in the spine has already happened, and they've been traumatized. But yeah, I just think it's going a little too quickly. But it's Titans and DC. HBO MAX, August 12th. The show will begin to air once a week. I believe.
Whatever.
So,
it's something to watch.
it's something to watch. And if you've watched the first 2 seasons, it got a little bit better. So I'm going to be back in for this. I'm really waiting for a new Doom Patrol. I fucking love that show. Even Stargirl was kind of good. I'm excited for the next season of that.
There's a Stargirl.
There's
show?
a Stargirl show. Yeah. With
yeah,
Luke Wilson.
What show? What is that? CW?
It's not now. It's on HBO Max, I think.
Oh,
it was on the DC Universe app,
Oh, right.
and now all that. So it's just on HBO Max, and that show's first season. It's not bad. Luke Wilson is great. The Wilsons are really good. Yeah. Wow. Okay, moving on to something else that's actually happening that I think a lot of us thought isn't going to happen is the new Flash movie, which is allegedly going to do Flashpoint. It is being shot right now, and a couple of interesting set photos have come out. One of them, they're showing Ezra Miller and Iris West, and then a set photo, and this picture's been everywhere, and it's not even, his face is obscured a little bit. Michael Keaton, gray-haired, as fucking Bruce Wayne from Batman 89.
Geek boner.
And it's just a shot from the distance, but holy shit, it just instantly brings back the whole 89 Batman look. I don't know what it is. It looks amazing. What did you guys think? I know it's just a picture of Michael Keaton with gray hair, but I see an aged Batman, Bruce Wayne, right there.
Yeah, it doesn't really do anything for
No, nothing.
all it does is confirm that it's happening, which is
Right.
exciting. But it
That
doesn't
is
really.
exciting.
Oh, look at this! He's got gray hair. I'm like, so.
But they're
Big
doing
fucking
it.
deal.
They're doing the thing that, the Spider-Man movie's going to do, is bringing in Keaton Batman and Affleck Batman and all these multiverses. Anthony, does this picture do anything for you?
Confirms he's in the movie. I mean, it'll be fun to see Keaton as Batman again.
Right.
I'm interested to see how this Flash move, like what we really get. I really don't know what it's going to be. We got a taste of Ezra Miller in Justice League. What version are we getting? Are we getting the Snyder version? I don't know. This whole movie is still, I don't really know what to expect because it's just so many different things that are happening in this movie. And to be honest, it's not like, the biggest thing that I'm excited for is probably Keaton,
Yeah.
but I like the Flash and Supergirl. I'm just not really all that excited just because I don't know what we're going to get. Like the precedent really isn't all that set yet for this.
Yeah, I mean, is it going to be Flashpoint? Are they going to follow the book? Are they going to reset? Is this them resetting their multiverse timeline? You mentioned Supergirl. Sasha Calle is playing Supergirl, and there's first set photos of her in her outfit. And I kind of dig this. It's a short. It's a different look than the Melissa Benoist short hair, dark hair, Supergirl. Any comments on the suit so far? And they'll probably CG a cape in, I imagine.
I mean, I don't really dislike it. It's just the abs don't look right.
They look fake and they don't look accurate. That's good.
Yeah, if they were a little bit more accurate, I mean,
they're weird and like pointy.
Yeah, that's a weird looking ab.
and
they're
sharp.
just so like, yeah, they're kind of going in different directions.
Yeah,
I feel like
that is weird.
that is kind of, I mean, anatomically, it wouldn't work like that. It would be a little bit more, it would be more balanced. I think that they're exaggerating it because they wanted to catch light, but like, I don't know. It just looks out of place. They needed to, I don't know, maybe this harness makes it look worse. Maybe when
she is on a harness being pulled up on that.
So maybe when it's not in the, like, you always get these production shots when the costumes look like dog shit.
Yes, they do.
So, I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. It's fine. Like, I feel like they need more red in the boots or something. I don't know, but.
Rumor is that, Gal Gadot may be in this movie. Reportedly, Grant Gustin from CW will be making an appearance, which would make sense. Ezra Miller came over and visited them on the Flash TV show. So, yeah, I don't know. This is like, it's like the Spider-Man No Way Home. It's going to be a crazy multiversal reset. Let's move on to another costume photo. This one, not a set pic, but an official photo from the set of Shazam. The director, David Sandberg, smartly, to avoid stuff like this, where people just take shots and your suit looks like crap, he put out a set shot of the Shazam family in their suits. And I got to say, these suits look dope. They look a lot better than in the first movie. There has been clear modifications, and you'll notice the one girl playing Grace, the older sister, she in the sequel, it's going to be the same girl playing her as not a superhero and a superhero, where the others, they grow up and they get replaced.
Oh yeah,
she will be playing both parts. But what are your thoughts? Look at these costumes. I kind of dig this. I love these costumes.
Yeah, they look good. I mean, whoever's come up with the like super textured pattern for every costume is just like made. Hopefully they like patented that, because it feels like Marvel and DC just use this texture for everything.
That's the thing, and it helps. It helps with the the light and defining them, and it just looks cool. Ruggs, geek boner for this one?
Geek boner.
Floppy jock.
No, I actually think they look fine. They stand out more than the Eternals. I tell you that. Their colors are bolder. Like the purple stands out, and the gold stands out, and
the gold looks great.
I just don't understand these like little lines that are kind of cutting through everything. That like it's by the rib cage is a line. There's a line on the arm.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they had on the Disney Spider-Man suit had a bunch of these.
Yeah, they're stupid. Those I would get rid of.
Panel lines.
I would get rid of those.
The gauntlets and the belts and the boots, it looks a little better.
The two best costumes are the two girl costumes.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
Yeah, because Megan Good's costume, she's got the piping that's going through, and it really cuts the form, and it looks really superhero-y. And then the girl
Grace Fulton as Mary.
All right, it's got the two-tone pattern, and without those stupid things, and it's a lot cleaner.
And she's kind of has like a skirt look, and it looks great. And, she's the only one with full leggings. They did a great job on these costumes. So it's just the difference of when you get a nice lit shot.
The other guys don't have as much contrast, but I think, Shazam has contrast. The girl in the red and the girl in the purple, they all have like some nice two-tone contrast that makes it, pop a little bit more.
I'm looking forward to another fun Shazam movie. The first one was fun. And then other odds and ends, DC news, Suicide Squad, which is the next movie they're putting out, we'll get on August 6th. Runtime, 2 hours and 12 minutes. And Aquaman 2, title, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
He's going to be fighting dinosaurs?
Yeah, is he going to the dinosaur island? Jurassic Park Lost Kingdom? I don't know what the Lost Kingdom is in DC. We'll find out. In the one piece of Disney Marvel news I have is Disney and Marvel, or Disney, made it official that all their original series will release on Wednesdays.
Oh, shit.
Why?
Marvel?
Yes, all the Marvel.
Why?
I will tell you. I think there's a couple of reasons that I heard. One is server load. It always comes down to the load, whether it's a viral load or a server load. They're trying to space out their server load when everybody hits it all on the weekend. If you give them a few days early, those weekend people, some people have watched it. And then the other reason I heard is they don't want to conflict with the movies getting released and people having to decide now, do I go to the theater? Do I watch that same movie at home? Do I watch Loki first and then go see the movie? So they want to separate it. And then I hope ultimately they are creating enough concurrent content that maybe there's a show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Wednesday. Like Mondays are Star Wars and Wednesdays are Marvel, and they're running them together if they have that much stuff. But they're going to be releasing original series is on Wednesdays. The movies, though, like Black Widow, that'll still come out on Friday.
I mean, they have a day buffer. They got that Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind that coming out on a Wednesdays. Doesn't matter to me.
It makes sense. No, and I posted this to our Facebook group, and I kind of joked like, we got to change our fucking release schedule again because we used to record later and come out on Sundays. But a listener, you guys in the Facebook group, they were very helpful. People were like, no, it's fine. We love it. It's fine. It's a week later. I was like, sweet. Great. Done. I mean, we're not going to change it, but it was nice to get that feedback because not everybody watches everything right away. Plus, we'll still be able to review the movies that come out on the Fridays.
That's right.
So
Yes, sir.
it still works. Listener, it's getting nice out. We were just talking about how masks are off, tops are off. Everyone is just walking around nude. America's back. Is that what's happening?
Boobs are out.
Boobs are out. I may have misinterpreted some things.
Do we sell any kind of jock and nerd pasties?
Hey, no, but
and
that
nipples?
is
shit.
let me write that down. Hold on, from on my merch ideas list, jock and nerd pasties. Okay.
I'd like to see pictures of people wearing them.
Well, we don't have
Guys,
pasties.
girls, it doesn't matter.
We have other fun summer gear to wear. You can look cool, promote the podcast, visit our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop, to get yourself a tank top, maybe, or a tote bag to carry things around in. We have travel mugs. People are traveling. Get a Jock and Nerd travel mug. And this week, the day the show posts, June 23rd to June 27th, there is a sale at the shop. Everything is up to 35% off. You get $13 t-shirts. Take advantage.
Jock and Nerd.
And get ready for the summer. Okay. Last thing in the news. Here's a real shitty story. You guys, you remember the slip and slide when you were kids? You guys play with the slip and slide much?
A little bit here or there.
Ruggs, did you enjoy the slip and slide?
Only when I'm with Mephisto.
Oh, Mephisto, when you're Mephisting Mephisto.
Yeah. It's a callback.
Well, just like other popular kids games like Ultimate Tag, The Floor is Lava, that have been turned into game shows because people are running out of ideas for game shows, NBC was working on a show called Ultimate Slip and Slide. I don't know how you turn this into a TV show, but they were going to find out, except that they're not going to find out because a source revealed to The Wrap that up to 40 crew members involved in NBC's Ultimate Slip and Slide have come down with, quote, awful explosive diarrhea.
Oh, shit.
Oh, so this does remind me of Mephisto.
That
and the
has
whole...
left them, quote, collapsing in the midst of filming. So they shut down the production on June 2nd with only 5 days left. They tested immediately. One person was positive for a parasitic intestinal infection called, do you want to guess it? Giardia. Giardia, everybody. Dogs get Giardia all the time.
Oh.
It's pretty much...
Is that stuff that you get? It's like vegetables that are in like pickled and shit?
No, and it's not the really nice brand
that's
of chocolate.
Giardinaria.
That's Giardinaria. Okay. It's also not Giordano's or Giardelli chocolate, which does look like diarrhea, but that's different. It's a fucking tapeworm. So they had a 65-foot tall slide that water... I can't imagine that what happened this day on the set. Can you imagine? They're standing around. They're like, hey, why is the water all brown all of a sudden? You smell that? What's going on? They got fucking tapeworms from the dirty pool water on the Slip and Slide TV show. That is fucking amazing.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And now, having found this out, I hope they finish this show, and I can't wait to see it. I only put that in because we started with a fisting joke, and then we got to oral sex, and we needed to end the news with shit talk. So we hit all our quotas, actually, if you think about it.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of you, Imran.
You see how I programmed
This is what
listener?
we need Imran for. We need this kind of decisive story picking. We need
'cause
that.
we wouldn't do this.
The producers nailed it on this one. Let me tell you, this is all themed. This is Ultimate Slip and Slide was supposed to come out August 8th. I can't wait to watch the shit episode of this show. It's going to be, they should just leave it in the show. Like this, your task for this one is to slide through the shit. If you don't get Giardia, then you win $1,000. I don't.
Yeah.
And with that diarrhea, let's take a break here. Play some promos, and we're going to come back, talk about the second episode of Loki on Disney Plus right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? This is Logan at Mostly Superheroes, a podcast that was partly inspired by the Jock and Nerd podcast. We talk about a lot of the same stuff, MCU, DC heavy, with other content that comes out of HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and more. We're committing to doing something new every day in 2021, so come join the fun, check out the schedule. Find us at mostlysuperheroes.com and enjoy the rest of the show.
What's up, guys? Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. Are you just sitting there thinking to yourself, man, I really love some dude in his garage sitting around talking about arbitrary countdowns and his favorite things in the world of movies, music, and TV? Well, guess what? That's me. Please look me up. My name is Gerald, and I am from Two Peas on a Podcast. If you want to subscribe to my countdown show, I have a different co-host every week. It's often someone from the world of podcasting or entertainment, and we go through our top 5 favorite things in whatever that week's category is. You can find links to all of our content, subscribe via your favorite podcast app, and follow us on social media. The easiest thing to do is just head to our website, which is www.twopeasonapod.com. I hope you look me up and join the party. It's a lot of fun. See you soon.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you've been enjoying the show, it's a good time to join our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon.
Jock and Nerd.
And that's where you can support the show and make sure we keep making the show. Because, you know, the show may stop. You don't want it to stop. Imagine if this was the last episode we ever did. Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
I can't imagine that. Let's not have that happen. Join our fan club where as little as $3 a month, you can get more bonus content. You get an exclusive RSS feed where the shows come out early, and there's post shows, instant reactions, movie reviews. The instant reactions are back. I did Loki episode 2 we're going to talk about. I did my instant reaction since it's a week between when the show comes out and then when you hear us talk about it. I'm going to bring these back, and those are a lot of fun. So sign up for that today. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get to Loki episode 2. The Variant is the name of this episode. Here's your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
Anthony, what the fuck happens in this episode? It was a week ago when I watched it. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's tough to remember
Right?
these being a week ago or a little less than a week ago, but they are with Loki
Yes.
in the TVA, and they're trying to basically still find the alternate Loki or the variant Loki, and this variant Loki is kind of one step ahead of them. They go to like a medieval fair, I think, in Oshkosh.
Yeah, Renaissance fair.
Yeah, they go to a Renaissance fair, and she has the jump on them. And Loki's obviously the Loki that is played by Tom Hiddleston's very. You can tell he's trying to still manipulate things and put things in his favor. He's not exactly the most trustworthy, so they're still having trouble trusting him. There's lots of conversations about like where this Loki could be hiding and all that. And they figure it out, and by the end, we meet the Loki.
Yes.
And it's not who we think it is or who we would have assumed.
Oh, shit.
And I'll just say right off the bat, she's fucking shit up and creating a lot of different timelines.
So you were right. Last week, you thought it was going to be a female Loki, and indeed, the reveal is this blonde
Lady Loki.
Lady Loki.
Blonde-haired Lady Loki, played by actress Sophia DiMartino. And that was crazy, yes. And the last thing we see is her drop all those fucking reset charges into portals. And the fucking back at the TVA, you see the secret timeline kind of just go crazy and branches everywhere. And you can even, I will get into where she sent them because you can see on the screen the locations of where she sent these things. Anthony, what'd you think of the episode overall?
Overall, I really liked this episode. I like the ongoing conversation about predetermined paths and choosing your own fate. And it definitely seems like the show was leaning towards choosing your own destiny, and that's really how it is, because even in the TVA, they're having the conversation about choosing your own destiny. And it seems like if you're in the TVA, you can kind of choose what you want to do.
Yeah, he does say that.
But if you're out, you can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
The one criticism I had was the green screen during the Loki Mobius convo in the cafeteria was so bad.
Wait.
So
Green
bad.
screen in the cafeteria? You mean the background?
Yeah, where they're the background. I mean, it's green screen. Those none of that's there.
Just like the long hallway look kind of thing.
The one where it's like the cafeteria or whatever the hell that coffee break room is, or whatever, where it's like, there's like tables and you can see people.
Oh,
that was like really distracting.
You see the sky and the city in the background, right? It looked kind of flat. And
whenever they cut to like the point of view of like one looking at the other, it was like very flat.
Oh.
But other than that, I did really enjoy the episode, and I like that we're kind of just getting into the shit right away. Like this episode ends, as I kind of mentioned, with timelines getting fucked up, and we don't really know what Lady Loki's plan is and how Loki's going to fit in. Loki's always been an interesting character because he kind of plays both sides, so we don't know what side he's going to end up on, and there's a lot of just kind of interesting things intertwined with an interesting conversation about the predestination versus free will.
He does take off with her, and they lose him at the end. Ruggs, is this show hooking you more? Because I agree with Anthony. I was like, oh shit, they just they got him working there, and they pulled this huge thing already in the second episode. They're fucking shit up.
Yeah, it's progressing at a very fast pace. Like, he was just there for the first time last episode, and now he's got a jacket and he's like walking around like a detective and shit.
Yeah, I
like,
love that.
Doing CSI stuff and whatever. I like the chemistry between him and Owen Wilson. I was perplexed by the whole jet ski conversation. I was like,
let's talk about that.
That's the quintessential fucking merging of man and machine, or whatever he was saying.
He's very impressed. For some reason, Mobius is obsessed with not only the jet skis, but a specific period of like the 90s. And he's obsessed with other 90s things. There's other clues that these people love discontinued items. But why is Mobius obsessed with jet skis? I thought that was kind of funny.
Everybody's got their thing, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, I forgot about this episode like until I watched like a refresher before I got on today. So the fact that it's that forgettable, it doesn't really.
That's it.
I mean, seriously, like when I remembered it, I'm like, oh yeah, a lot of shit happened. Like I remember being like kind of enthralled when I watched it, but like 2 seconds after it was over, I forgot it ever existed.
Well,
so it was strange. I did like that Loki figured out that he was at these like
apocalypse events, hiding,
so he could hide out in those. I like that they figured that out, and that there's like a reason why they haven't been able to find Loki. We called the whole Lady Loki thing last week. We said Loki.
Is that even Loki though?
Yeah.
There are some clues and some ideas and conversations that it's not even a Loki. So, but it is a Loki, but it's not.
Well, they're saying it's a Loki.
They're saying it's a So, and that was neat where you saw. I love the detail that they've pruned variant Lokis before. In fact, out of all the variants, he's the most variant that they've had to catch. And you see like Frost Giant Loki and Hulk Loki and Viking Loki, and then like Tour de France Loki, which I thought was odd. He was in a Tour de France outfit and he won the cup.
Yeah.
That was great. Okay, wait, let's break down some of these details. So the beginning, Anthony said the Renaissance Fair, 1985, Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Great scene. These TVA agents, I haven't seen them actually, win any of these fights. They go down really easy, so I don't know how good they are. But the fucking song they used, again, Bonnie Tyler's I Need a Hero. What the fuck?
Oh, shit.
A third time, right in the opening of the fucking show. I was like, this fucking song.
So you don't think originality is fucking dead? Like everybody's just hitting
God,
the same
why is this
fucking
song
shit?
everywhere? What the fuck?
It just smacks of like there's some kind of bankruptcy going on of creativity.
Something is happening because this song it was in 2 trailers last week and again, and it's just I was just fucking lost.
And it was overused to begin with.
Yes, yeah, and it's like it's such a hacky, cheesy song. In all cases, I get what they were trying to do. Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a throwback. It's 80s, right? He-Man, nostalgia, it's 80s. Here, they're 1985. But there were other fucking songs that were being played at those times, you motherfuckers. Anyways, so the main hunter, C-20, that girl she gets kidnapped. Ruggs, did you recognize her? That's the girl from Utopia on Amazon, remember?
Yeah.
She was really good. That was the girl that was like in the book, Jessica, I think, and then she was real. I love the Miss Minutes hologram there, where it's kind of like a recording, but it's also a live AI, and you can interact with it. That's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the little details where Loki, they're talking about his powers, and he's like, oh, no. Illusion projection and duplication casting are 2 very different things. And then he goes in like he's playing Dungeons and Dragons and explains the difference. And Mobius is like, okay, whatever.
I'm glad you're actually. I hate when you normally do this, but I did forget a lot of this stuff.
Okay,
so I'm glad you're doing it.
Did you forget? Also, here's another thing I noticed. They are focusing the 3 Timekeeper statues. They're focusing a lot on the middle one. Several times this episode, it would start in the middle one and pan out or zoom in. It was in her office and where the elevators are, and the middle one is fucking Kang. So they keep showing.
Is it Kang? Really?
In the cartoon, if you look at the drawing of the 3 in the Miss Minutes cartoon, that middle one looks like fucking Kang. Huh. I'm pretty convinced he's one of them, and this is all going to lead into
Did they say that these people are reptiles or lizards or some lizard people?
No, he calls them lizard people. Loki calls the Timekeepers jokingly lizard people.
I'm not entirely convinced that it's Kang, but I mean, I do think that this show is, setting the stage for a Kang to appear, because it feels like to me they're going to blow up the single universe. Like I think this is going to end with a multiverse.
I think there should be all 3 of them should come, and there should be the Kang gang.
The Kang gang, gang.
Yeah.
Gang. Well, Anthony, I think you're right. I think maybe what Lady Loki is going to do is that she is also upset that the Timekeepers have, they're making the choices and they've taken everyone's choice away. So she wants to destroy not the TVA, but the sacred timeline itself. And I think to her, she thinks she's setting everyone free, maybe, of these predetermined things.
Perhaps.
But that's chaos. That's utter.
It's just options. That's all.
Yeah. It's like you can live this multi-parallel life. You could go here. You could go there.
You could go anywhere.
You could go anywhere. I mean, I always thought in our reality, there are different parallel realities where I went this way, or I made a different choice, or I took a left turn and something else happened, and that reality exists. I don't know, but for every decision you do, it's a lot of parallel realities to exist all at once.
Well, just because you do something different doesn't mean you don't realign onto the track. It's like you get off an exit, but then you might come back onto the same highway. So let's say instead of taking a shit that morning, you jerked off. And then, but you still go to work. Then you end up at work, right?
Now, was I supposed to take a shit, and the jerking off was the variant, or is it the other way?
Now, if let's say the day that you were whacking off, your mom walks in, and then you don't go to work, then that's a whole different timeline. I think that. But if you get back on the timeline where you go to work and your day just pretty much doesn't change, then like little decisions like that are not going to deviate you.
I think we just wrote like a science fiction movie where the guy's just trying to jerk off in peace and he makes a time machine because he keeps getting interrupted by his mom.
Okay, put that one in the fire.
Write it. Netflix has already optioned it for 2 seasons. We're done.
Ruggs, you didn't like this. You didn't really like this episode?
No, it's not that I didn't like it. I just didn't remember it. I felt like a lot happened, and why didn't I remember it? And there's things that work well, like as I said, there's some chemistry, there's some thought provoking things, and there's now
you're referring to the chemistry between Owen and Tom.
Yeah, it's always great when they just sit down
like
and
when
talk.
you have the main characters and they can hold a scene together, and it's compelling, and they're talking, and just even him looking at the folder of all the Asgard getting destroyed, and him
great. Him reading the details of the destruction. You actually saw that about 9,000 people. Asgard's population was 9,000.
Well, besides the people that went on the ship.
But yeah, and so there's some that are still somewhere. Oh well, then those people died too, though.
Half of those people
died. So there's a small group of Asgardians somewhere. Possibly, maybe they landed on Earth. That's what happened.
No,
in the
aren't
comics.
they? Aren't they?
Oh,
they're on Earth.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forget.
They're on that fishing town in Earth. But I did find it interesting that Mobius doesn't really know the TV, like the timekeepers either. There's only a few people that know them. So like, there's obviously they're setting up for these timekeepers to be not as
kind of like a Wizard of Oz. The guy Oz was
would the word be maleficent? Would that be a good word for them?
That means they're evil.
The opposite of that.
Malevolent.
Malevolent. You meant benevolent, but you mean they're benevolent. Yes, and
benevolent.
Maleficent is the movie.
Yes. Benevolent is they're not as benevolent as we would think.
Or do they even exist? Is there 3 of them? Maybe there's one of them. It's a whole Wizard of Oz deal.
I'm still going with that the 3 of them exist because this timeline is the only timeline that keeps them alive.
I like that. They would be selfish, and I think that's probably what's going to play key in this.
Because if things were supposed to play out this way, like if you were a god but you weren't made until like 5,000,
right?
But then you realize that when you were born in 5,000 that there were these competing timelines and that one day a timeline would win, you would just knock out all those timelines and go, I'm going to keep the one that makes me stay alive, and I'm just going to say that this is how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's probably true. I think what's going to happen is that the Kang gang, all 3 of the timekeepers, are going to actually have to deal with Loki and Lady Loki, and Kang is going to be the one that gets away, but the other 2 are probably going to end up getting fucked up.
I don't think we'll see. I don't think we'll see Kang until Ant-Man, obviously, because we know he's coming. We know Jonathan Majors is playing him, but I do agree this is setting all that up until Kang's reveal.
You don't think there's going to be a Kang reveal at all?
No, I don't think. I don't know who the bad guy is. I don't know if Lady Loki is going to be the bad guy.
That is kind of Marvel-y, not to give you what you're expecting. But,
all we know is Jonathan Majors will be playing Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man. So I don't think he's coming before that. Like, I don't know.
I don't think we see Kang in this show, but I think, as mentioned, I think this is obviously setting up stuff for Spider-Man and Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, and I think this whole thing, I think Kang is the overarching villain of the second 3 phases of the MCU.
Yes, he's going to be the next Thanos.
Right, and I think this whole, the time thing is they haven't explored that yet, so I think this makes you're raising the stakes by now going infinite worlds, warring worlds. I mean, I think you'll probably get like a Secret Wars type storyline coming out of this.
That's the one. I watched one video that was their idea. And by the way, I'm just gonna say for the listener, that's fucking Anthony's puppy. It's not on my end. All right. I'm not editing it out. So just relax. There's a puppy back there.
Yeah, he's going nuts right now. I don't know what he's seen.
There's probably fireworks and some crazy shit outside. Cute little Logan. So just
Logan.
Deal with it, listener. No, I think you're right. I think, look, they showed us last episode that Thanos' entire life, everything that he believed in, that he worked up to, was fucking pointless. It was all for nothing. Those things are nothing. They're introducing the Eternals, the Celestials. So what is more dramatic than that is all of reality, is all time being destroyed and getting fucked up, and reality just being, foobarred. So that's going to be the next big. That's the only thing.
Can I ask an existential question?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. So if we do, okay, so number one, if the Infinity Stones don't mean shit, and all of the power of that doesn't matter, and you have multiple timelines.
Well, let's say they mean something, but they don't mean anything to when you're at the level that this time.
Wherever the TVA is.
Exactly. So, and then now you have multiple timelines where anything can happen and anything can any multiple outcomes can happen. What is it possible to kind of get engaged into the story and it really have weight at that point when you know, this isn't shit. This doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things. Like the whole reason, like I feel like that people think everything's so important, like in the most minimal way, is that we're like to our knowledge, we're the only planet that exists that has life on it that we've been able to find. And we're like so rare in the universe that everything just seems so huge.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put it into perspective that it means nothing and it's meaningless, it's kind of weird. It kind of shifts the perspective.
Reality now is at stake.
Well, yeah, I was gonna add that. Like, I think what Marvel's doing is they're saying, instead of going, well, there's infinite possibilities, infinite worlds, and every reaction there's a different reaction. Like there's millions of me and whatever. They've made it clear that if there's multiple timelines, they're going to go to war with each other.
Yeah. Yep.
And if so, there's still like one timeline will rule because every timeline is going to fight each other. So it does matter because at some point the character you might care about that's made like all the rug boy that like ate the sandwiches and like was
never existed.
And had like a hand up his slack hole the entire day.
Yeah.
Never existed anymore because that's the one we care about. But maybe there's a rug boy that's like basically Jesus.
Oh yeah,
no one likes that rug boy.
Jesus rug boy.
Everybody hates that.
He's a party
everyone hates Jesus. Everyone hates Jesus. So, you know.
Well, look here. So as for where she sent the charges, here's the couple of locations you could read on the screen.
Well, let me ask real quick. So she just sends the charges out to these random things and erases like a moment in history, right? Is that what she's doing?
So it would reset shit wherever she sent it at the time.
So then that creates the branch timeline because she's resetting an event that was important to the timeline.
So these are all, she just set off a fucking ton of Nexus events all at once. Basically.
Oh, shit.
That none of this was supposed to happen, right? So every charge that went off has now created a fucked up Nexus event. And if you see on the screen, she sent it to Voromir in 2301, which is where the Soul Stone was in Endgame. Asgard 2004. Sakaar, which is the junkyard planet we saw in Thor Ragnarok in 1984, she sent one to Ego. Fucking Peter Quill's dad, Ego, in 1382. She sends one to Titan, Titan, the moon of Saturn, where Thanos is from, in 1982. Hala, the home planet of the Kree from the Guardians, in 0051, and Xandar, 1001, year 1001, which is the home planet of the Nova Corps.
So let me ask you this.
All these things will be erased.
Okay, so when the new timeline, everything collapses and there's a new timeline that kind of resets, and from whatever timeline, whatever, all these things that did occur do not occur, or things that...
I don't think a new timeline, everything collapses and multiple timelines start and more timelines branch off of those and nothing comes back together.
Oh, I was thinking that all of these timelines are going to exist, but then there's going to be a new timeline, a main timeline that we're going to get to tune in, and that's going to be the result of all of these things happening. So the idea is like none of the Marvel universe happens as we know it, and there is something that, like, for example, let's say something happens in the Kree planet and the Terrigen Mists happen, and that's what causes mutants or whatever. Or there's some back door where we're going to start at like a point in the future, like, or in the present, but the past is going to be different. You understand what I'm saying?
Maybe.
So we'll what if we get into a past where Thanos never got the Infinity Stones?
Yeah.
Iron Man never died.
Yeah.
The blip never happened, and now there's mutants. All right. So, and the Fantastic Four, they're all there. Like, those are things that didn't happen for whatever reason. You could write it off and say, the blip has kept the Fantastic Four from going on their ship. This and that, the whatever happened with the Kree whatever they didn't mess with humanity, so the mutants never got born. Whatever. So
this could you think that this could bring about everything, all these things now?
Well, I definitely. I mean, the show is definitely, as mentioned, leading into some stuff for the movies. It's also, I don't
think it's going to happen in this show, but I think it's setting up like the framework so the other
for
movies
the next
can do
few
that.
years down the line.
I mean, keep in mind they're doing a what if next after this, which I think this is leading into like this is how a what if could happen.
And
right?
apparently, in the what if I saw this graphic where they join as a team called Guardians of the Multiverse.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I heard
What the
that
fuck
too,
is
that they're
that?
gonna do that. Yeah, the Guardians of the Multiverse, and that's going to be a show I think that spins off.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, this is their way of maybe even just saying, taking the things that we thought were canon and then aren't, like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and your Netflix stuff, and being like, okay, like these can now all exist in this pocket universe, but we don't really have to, similar to what DC's doing. We don't have to acknowledge it all the time because it happened in an alternate timeline.
Yeah, it is interesting. The Marvel and DC are doing the same things. And the precedent in the comics, like you mentioned, Secret Wars, this is kind of what happened. All the different versions had to battle, and then the Alien Beyonders were there.
Yeah, and I'm not referring to the Secret Wars where it was like the Beyonders and they were.
Well, it's the second
new one.
Yeah, the newer one that happened in the 2000s. Yeah.
You know what the funny thing is? Like we did all this with WandaVision and we wasted our time completely.
Right. This could all be nothing. This
seems a little more substantial. I mean, they're clearly hinting at is all this going to be undone next episode and like none of it happened? Is that they're going to pull one of those? That would be annoying because how are you going to deal with this fucking?
Well, we were doing
crazy...
the same kind of conjecture about how it's going to impact the universe.
Yeah,
and it's clear that the stuff that happens really doesn't. Even in Falcon Winter Soldier, it wasn't universe changing stuff. It was just kind of like little stuff that affects the character, and
I think this is going to have a bigger impact, though. I think now this show will have a bigger impact moving forward.
I'm with you, Imran, but I'm also, I mean, we've been fooled twice.
We've been burned twice. That's correct.
And I think the saying is fool me, 3 times? Just
won't be
go
fooled
fuck
again.
yourself.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. You can't fool me.
I do. That is a good point, Ruggs, because we were definitely WandaVision, I think, was a little bit more purposeful in their misdirection because we had freaking Quicksilver from Fox show up.
Right.
And everyone just creamed themselves, including me, and thought, oh, multiverse, oh my God, X-Men are back, blah, 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 and it really meant nothing.
Yeah, that was fun.
I'm hoping, because they're dealing with time and they've just like made it very clear that the stones aren't important anymore, this is what it is. Like, I'm hoping that, I mean, whatever. Well, I'll probably like the story regardless, but I'm hoping that this might be having some universe ramifications.
Yeah, me too. I think,
but it also could be just an exploration of Loki, and I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing either.
I'm down for whatever.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
I just don't want to get myself too worked up over it. I want to just enjoy it as it is and not try and put too much onto the show, because even though I can't help but do it, because my whole way of thinking is like, I'm trying to be Kevin Feige. How do I solve this problem now?
Right,
how do I get to Marvel Universe to where it's supposed to be? And so I'm constantly thinking that way, but I got to stop doing that.
No, it's not a bad. It makes sense. There are people who are really getting like down nitpicky into the details, and even that's too much for me. I'm like,
Screen Crush. I don't know if you follow them.
Yeah,
but they put out a video literally every day. I mean, that guy.
Yeah.
First off, he does a great job, but he is like thinking about it all the time, like all the ramifications, what this means.
That's a little much even for me because I love that stuff, but I'm like, okay, this is. So there's things in this episode that did that to me. The pen, when he's, first of all, okay, I love the fucking look. I love the old timey computer screens. She has a reel to reel on the wall, like she's recording in like the old 70s. Dials are fantastic. The art direction is fantastic. In fact, though, did you know that, you know how the interior is like the long hallways and the curvy floors and it's all fake? The one scene in the elevator where they're coming down the elevator, that's a real fucking building. I believe in Atlanta. It's a hotel somewhere. That's a real hotel. So they managed to find something that had that aesthetic. Then he signs the paper and the pen, and they make a point he mentions the pen. It says Franklin D. Roosevelt High School. This is a real high school in Texas, I believe. And they do a close-up, and they make a point to mention the pen. And he's like, maybe this belongs to one of the other agents. And that sent me fucking Googling everything. I was like, oh my God, who went to Roosevelt High School? I thought of the Fantastic Four for some reason. I don't know what that means. Why would you do that?
I saw a video, I think it's the same guy from Screen Crush. They were like, the pen, it could be the fucking pen that Tony was giving to Steve.
What's with
when he
this
was
pen?
saying, remember it was the pen where he's like, you could sign the accords. This was like a pen given me. Like
No, that was a nice pen. This is just a shitty fucking ball click pen.
I know, but it was like they were like trying to make. My point is, they were trying to make the connection. Like this was the pen that, like, the same pen that, like, Roosevelt signed the treaty with to end World War II or something like that. And I was just like, don't fucking read into that pen. The pen. I don't think the pen is going to do anything.
But why would they make a point to focus on and him mention the fucking pen? Anyways, whatever. I don't know.
The reason why they did is we're talking about it.
Yeah,
That's
now we're like, what about the pen? Is Mephisto in the pen? I love the scene where he's doing the metaphor and he ruins his salad.
Usually the pen is in Mephisto when we're hanging.
The pen is in Mephisto. That was a hilarious scene where he's like, no, that's my lunch. Don't burn. What are you doing? That was so funny. But
I did enjoy. Rug Boy mentioned earlier, but I also enjoyed that Loki figured that out. Like I thought that was very clever.
Yeah.
To be able to, like, the way you could hide would be to hide in apocalyptic
because
events
the timeline
because it doesn't matter.
The timeline.
Like, there's some stuff they definitely thought about.
Yeah.
There are also some stuff where it's like, okay, I think I'm getting the implication that the TVA is like infinity old, right? Like that time doesn't time passes differently there.
Yeah.
So it seems like, and they would have knowledge of everything that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Yet, like they recruit Loki, and like him and Lady Loki are just able to fucking like dance around them the entire time. It's like, wait, I thought you guys were smart.
No, they seem kind of incompetent.
Right.
But I think they're like this authoritative regime that nobody likes. So it also kind of represents that.
Right.
But yeah, they're not very good at their job is the thing I've noticed. They get fucking taken down.
Because if you were able
all the time.
I guess the only way I could see them being bad at their job is maybe because Lady Loki is a variant and she's doing things that are not by the book. They've never seen it like this before.
Yeah, yeah.
But you would think they have infinite knowledge of everything.
They should
that's happened.
know everything that's gonna happen.
Like at least they should be like, we've seen stuff that it's happened in a way that we can kind of figure this out. I don't know. I'm thinking about, I mean, it's very existential about thinking about, okay, if I had infinite knowledge of everything that was going to happen, everything that's already happened, is going to happen, currently happening, I feel like I'd be able to figure out how to catch someone. I
love the conversation where he's asking Mobius, he's like, well, what happens at the end? What is the end game? And he's like, well, they get to unravel the timeline and we all meet at peace at the end of time. And there's order because Mobius believes that existence is chaos. And I thought that was very, very interesting. All this. And then you were right. They mentioned like they are the only free people that get to do whatever they want.
Well, yeah, Mobius makes the point that like Loki was born a frost giant, got captured by an Asgardian, and was raised to be a king or whatever. And he's like, see how ridiculous that is?
Yes, it's just as silly as this.
But then, like, you know, there is, if you're like having this conversation about life, there is beauty in the chaos.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I enjoy that they're having like
it's deep, man.
These conversations. Yeah.
It's fucking great. So, anyways, the gun they got from the kid in France leads them to
so back to some minute thing.
Cataclysmic hurricane in Alabama in 2050 inside Rock's Cart Megastore, which is clearly a nod to Roxxon, but it also reminded me of Idiocracy. Because in that movie, 500 years in the future, like Costco's are giant, and you go to college in the Costco, and Starbucks gives out hand jobs and blowjobs, and everything's different. Yeah, that's what happens in that movie. But like the Costco, it reminded me of the giant Costco, where they're just like, "Welcome to Costco. I love you."
I really enjoyed. So I gave a criticism of how they filmed that conversation, where it was obviously green screen.
Yeah,
but I actually really enjoyed how they filmed in the Rock's wall.
Yeah.
I guess it was very like kind of horror-esque the way
there
they
was
like
a lot of
kind of like a lot of tension. A lot of tension, and a very like the whole vibe was just very creepy, like off, like the way and then you throw in Loki switching bodies, and like you have Loki acting like Loki, but in like a man's body, and then like a Southern Hicks body, and then eventually a woman. It's like
Randy.
This
Call
all
me
feels,
Randy.
Yeah, this all feels so off. Yet that really works for me. The way they filmed that and the way that was acted.
The tension by the end of the episode was fantastic, and when they go to the red lights, that was also great. And the other Loki says some interesting things when she's the hunter. He goes, me, I presume, and she goes, oh please, if anybody's anyone, you're me. And I was like, oh, what the fuck does that mean? Who is the real fucking variant here?
I like it because like this version of Loki that she is so different, yet like also still has some of the same DNA.
Yeah.
So you're seeing a character that's like you're just kind of on your toes. You're like, what is this
you're
character
like, who is
now?
this?
What are we doing? What's going on? We can't really predict how she's going to act.
And she's
Neither
just
can Loki.
She's further down the line. She's
even more ahead than they are. Yeah, she's like 10 steps ahead of them.
She's got a huge advantage.
Yeah.
So she knows that basically she's ahead in the game. So that puts the other Loki in this weak spot, and he gets desperate, and he actually follows her into the.
I know,
the
that's
portal.
crazy. Now they're together, and they've ditched Mobius, and I don't know if they know where they went.
He's so intrigued by like obviously his ego. He wants to be the best Loki, and he's clearly seen this version's better.
Yes,
like right now she's better.
Mobius even says that to him to kind of goad him.
He's like, you want to get her because you know that this is the better variant than you, and you can't stand that, can you?
Right.
It's fucking great. So here's some clues about this lady, Lady Loki. If you notice, one of her horns is sawed off on her head.
Right.
I don't know what that means. But apparently in a foreign market, in the Spanish market, there was briefly a credit that was published that they had taken down, and they were crediting her as someone named Sylvie. Okay? Sylvie, the character of Sylvie Lushton in the Marvel Comics, was a regular human living in Broxton, Oklahoma, until Asgard shows up above the USA, above Oklahoma. There's a time in Marvel Comics where it's on a rock and it's just floating.
Oh yeah,
above the earth, and that's remember that's where Asgard is.
That.
So she lived there, and Loki basically, this was after Ragnarok in the comics, where it was destroyed. Basically, Loki gave her powers just to fuck with her. So it's kind of like his daughter also in the comics. She eventually takes the name Enchantress. This is the second person to be the Enchantress and Lady Loki. So I don't know if it's going to be, I don't know who this person is, or if it is a Lady Loki, or if it's somebody completely.
Yeah, it could be Enchantress.
Could be somebody else completely.
Yeah, we don't really know. That's kind of the
I just want
the fun part.
Yeah,
I just want Tom Hiddleston to dress in drag, and then there'd be two Lady Lokis.
He might do that. And are there going to be any other cameos? I wonder if there's a big cameo in this show. Like, the other shows kind of had a nice big cameo. Well, this could be anyone.
Well, I mean, you can go down the path of cameos and just get yourself really worked up.
Yes, let's not do that. Here's something I want to point out is the discontinued drinks that they're using in the show is very interesting. In both episodes, this one and the last one, Mobius loves Josta Cola. Have you guys heard of Josta? Did you know this was a real cola? This is a real drink.
No.
Never heard of Josta. Okay. Josta, made by Pepsi. It was America's first energy drink, actually. It was fruity. It had guarana. It was one of the first drinks to use guarana as caffeine to give you energy. And it launched in 1995, discontinued by 1999. Okay? So only around in the 90s. In this episode, you see a box drink. It says Boku. It's a Boku juice box. Casey had it. This drink was in the U.S. from 1990 to 2003, discontinued. So it's very, I don't know why they're doing this. I think it's just little details, but I think it ties into like Mobius's obsession with the 90s and jet skis. And like, he probably would love to live in the 90s. If he could live in any period, he would love the 90s.
I mean, we're definitely getting a shot at the end of Mobius on a jet ski or something.
We have to. He needs to like jet ski off into the sunset. Absolutely. And you'll know he's
Do you
okay.
find that name Mobius is, the Mobius strip, the infinite strip, that surface? Do you think there's anything to do with that, or is it just is he a character that we know about?
I think it's definitely a thematic name. Anthony, are you familiar with a Mobius strip?
No.
Okay, here's what you do. If you take a thin strip of paper that's long, and you take one end and you twist it and tape it to the other, creating this loop, but you've turned it, right? So if you draw a line on one side of the paper and keep turning the loop, you will end up back at your original line. This strip now is a Mobius strip. It's never ending. It kind of looks like an infinity symbol. Rugs.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anything else? What else is the Mobius strip about?
Oh, that's it. Infinity. I think
It's
that's
infinity,
the main
Yeah.
thing. So I was like, wow, is there some kind? We have the Infinity Stones. We got Mobius.
I mean, there's
I
an
don't
ancient Mobius. I remember when I did that as a kid, it fucking blew me away. I was like, oh my God, the line just keeps going. It continues. What the fuck is this? But yeah, it's just infinite Mobius strip.
Or will Owen Wilson take off his clothes and he could do his own Mobius strip?
Oh, he's got a Mobius strip. No, we don't need that. Wow.
Wow, look at my moves. Yeah.
Anyways, great episode. I liked it. I'm in. I like it's episodic. It hits you with a nice cliffhanger, keeping you hooked.
Yeah, I should have. I was just too busy over the weekend, but I had intended on trying to like rewatch some of it just because I did enjoy it when I first watched it. And there was a lot of interesting things they were touching on and little moments that I did enjoy. So maybe I'll watch it. No, probably won't. Watch it again,
it's all right. You got this,
but I'll wait till episode 3 and I might watch that one.
4 episodes left after this. Now I got a little follow-up interesting story regarding IP and takedowns because Loki obviously is now getting very popular. Loki also though is a Norse god, right? He's the concept of this character Loki's been around for what'd you say, thousands of years, long time.
Sure.
So Disney is trying to claim that the deity is their IP. Oh, shit. And they are taking down fan art and images of merch that people are doing on these t-shirt shops like Redbubble and TeePublic. And people are a little upset because they're like, well, Loki is a fucking ancient god, a Norse god. Can you really copyright
maybe if you're using that costume design?
I guess if you go specific Loki, but I feel like they're going after things that are even not even a comic reference and just uses the name or whatever.
Well, then that you can't do.
Anthony, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's the eye test, right? If you're using a fucking Loki that looks green and it looks like Tom Hiddleston or Loki, but if you're I mean, I guess that's the most popular.
Can you use
Loki.
Can you use the word Loki?
Well, there's one in this article. This one person said they used on their thing. They used the word low-key, LOWKEY, and that still got taken down by Redbubble. The other thing is Redbubble. They're gonna look after their own ass, and if Disney is fucking, their lawyers are lethal. If there's the slightest thing, they're just gonna take it down. So they can exert this power, unfortunately. But I don't think you can IP a god. I don't know.
Yeah, this is the wrong thing to actually. Normally, Marvel doesn't give a shit about any of this stuff because unless you're making boku bucks, like they're not going to freaking go after you because there's no it doesn't. The legal fees alone, like if you're gonna go after like somebody like say that's making like a couple $100, like the legal fees is going to be in the tens of thousands.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't fight them all. That you're just going to take it down. So we'll see. I don't understand how these T-shirt sites work because there's tons of fan art of licensed characters that people make and sell, and some of them get taken down, and some they get away with. So.
Some of them are not selling anything. They're just up there. No one's buying.
Well, that's true.
You can have all of nothing that I get.
You can take all that out. All right, good stuff. Can't wait for episode 3. Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
Was that a diarrhea fart? What was that?
It was loose.
It was
loose and hot. It was hot loose.
Going on hot and loose. Great. Jose Ibarra checking in on our Facebook group with comments on Loki. He said, after last week's show conversation, I died when Holding Out for a Hero started playing. Bonnie Tyler is raking in the royalties. Anyways, the show hits on another level anytime Loki and Mobius are on screen together. The pace of the show seems to be a lot quicker than the other Marvel Disney Plus releases. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. And then he says, if there's not a Josta promo in this week's Jock and Nerd, I'm going to be pretty disappointed. So, fear not, Jose Ibarra. I don't have a promo, but I have this, you guys. I'm going to play the original 30-second commercial for Josta Cola. Some of you may remember this. This thing was around so briefly that I don't remember it. And it's basically, it's two old guys sitting in a garden with bocce balls, just talking to each other. But you'll get the gist of it.
Remember the time, just after the war, when those 3 Swedish nurses invited us for a weekend in Paris? How can I forget? We should have gone.
Coulda.
Woulda.
Shoulda.
Yep.
Josta, you better do the good stuff now.
So that was it. Their slogan
Jesus, it just was like guitars and drums.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's better do the good stuff now. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Josta Cola. I'm not surprised this soda didn't last. The marketing was not the
Didn't
strongest.
Surge come along and destroy it?
Probably, yeah. But I know there's a lot of like people who collect old discontinued.
There was another
colas.
energy drink that came out back those. I can't remember. It was pretty big.
Yasta.
It wasn't just Yasta.
It wasn't just
Tab?
Tab was not an energy drink.
No,
that was the first diet.
It was right.
soda.
It was like around the same time Red Bull came out too.
Oh, really? Well, it didn't survive.
Zima? No, that's not it.
It's just now look at the fucking energy drink industry is insane. Daryl K also said it's that same song again for the third time this week. So a lot of people noticed Bonnie Tyler's song.
It's played a few times?
It was in 2 of the trailers last week, and it was in this episode. That's 3 times.
Jolt Cola.
What movie was it? What trailers was it in?
Remember we watched the Guardians of the Galaxy video game trailer and the He-Man trailer last week?
And it was in both?
It was in both of those. And famously, it's in Footloose, Kevin Bacon's
You
football.
probably said this earlier.
We said it last episode.
Really?
Listener
He was
is
reading his phone at the time.
The listener is laughing right now because, yes, everyone, we went over this.
I was selling my crypto.
Oh, you got to sell your crypto. Dump that shit. It's going
It's
down.
important.
Okay, one more thing in News from the Nation. Adam Morris shared a link to the new Snake Eyes trailer, G.I. Joe Snake Eyes, just released today, saying this looks good. Hard to believe after the other G.I. Joe flick so far, but ninjas and quests and whatnot, I'm in. You guys, did you get a look at this trailer? There's some
Yeah, I saw
interesting
it.
story things. What'd you think?
It looks like a movie. It looks like an action movie. It looks like it's going to be fun. It's got ninjas in it. It's got sword
ninjas.
fights. It's got the Baroness. It's got Scarlet in there.
Yeah, you see them fight?
Yeah, so I'm okay. I'm like cautiously optimistic. I know it's not going to be great. I think it might be like something to watch if you have nothing else to do. But I'm not like pumped about it, but it looks like okay. I'm wondering how Snake Eyes loses his voice. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, because he doesn't talk and what his name is. We never actually knew what his name was, and he doesn't. Yeah, he eventually can't talk at all.
He has to become a mute.
Yeah,
right?
he does have to become a mute. So that other dude that in this, they give me a little bit of a story where he helps him out and then he takes him to train.
Is that Storm Shadow?
I think that's Storm Shadow. And so they were friends and they're eventually going to be enemies, right?
That would seem to make sense because they focused on him a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the only characters I know are like Joe.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy's name,
No.
right?
There's no
See, I don't even know his
character
name.
named Joe. Is there?
No. With the main guy, there's the main
Duke.
guy.
Isn't it Duke? I don't know.
Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I know Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes, and I mean it looks good. I mean, it looks well put together, and I don't know how it'll play out on screen if it's actually a good movie, but the trailers look good. I'm just not the biggest G.I. Joe fan, so it's hard for me to I didn't even recognize that was the Baroness and Scarlet. I had no idea.
Yeah, they're new people, and they mentioned Cobra.
They're not new people, but
new actors playing them, obviously.
Right.
But the more Cobra is in this trailer, and they mentioned Cobra, and it looks a little bit better. I'm still in between like Floppy Jaw Geek Boner. Right?
It looks good. It's just I mean, maybe it is a good movie, but it's like ninja origin story. Not comic book, but stuff we like IP that is being made into a movie. There's a lot of like action, chase scenes,
motorcycle
slow-mo.
stunts.
Yeah, they had a little slow-mo action there. So it's just
I
more
feel
the
like
same.
at best it'll be a decent movie, and at worst it's going to be a piece of shit. So like, I don't know if it's going to reach either of those levels. I think it's going to sit right in the middle between those two, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. But I do like the way that the uniform looks. The costume looks really great.
I love the sliding visor thing was sick.
Well, I think I would disagree. I think if it's just okay, that's probably maybe the worst because
nobody's talking about it.
Well, not the worst, but obviously it'd be worse if everyone hates it. But at least we'd have a decent conversation about it. And if it's pleasant, if it's great, then that'd be a pleasant surprise. But if it's just in the middle, then it is what it is. Like it's exactly what I thought it would be, which is just.
But like that's what Mortal Kombat was, right? And we were happy to see that, So Mortal Kombat didn't ascend to greatness, and it wasn't a piece of shit complete, but it was somewhere like kind of like.
It's a good point.
I feel like that's the best we're gonna get. I think, to be honest, like I don't think that there's good, especially with this whole when we're doing the global market and a lot of things kind of just get neutered down and simplified and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's good that that's ending soon, I heard, but like that we're starting to pull out of the Chinese markets, and
that's a mess over there.
So we'll see. Maybe movies will come back. They're not going to make as much money,
and maybe they won't cater and pander to the Chinese market in the movies as much.
There's not going to be $1 billion movies in the future. If Hollywood is panicking on this whole censorship thing and all of this stuff kind of happening, like they're not going to make these $1 billion.
You know what? That is also a great question. How long will it take after COVID year to see the next $1 billion movie? Will it happen in a year? Will it take 2 years? Could it happen quickly? That's kind of interesting because Godzilla vs. Kong just crossed $100 million. It kind of slowed down. Domestic, yeah. And
What's it at worldwide? Do you know?
Quiet Place Part 2 did $100 million in like 12 days. It took a few weeks for Godzilla vs. Kong.
By the way, that actor is, while I'm looking this up, is playing Storm Shadow.
He is Storm Shadow, yeah. Worldwide, 442.
Okay, so still not beating still not $500 million yet. Yeah,
not yet. It kind of slowed down, but they
were released at a weird time.
And so as these movies come out, it's ramping up. They're saying Black Widow should open to like 90 million, which is
that would be great.
Almost like normal, like 60 to 90 would be like normal times, right? I mean, that movie would normally it would have made like $150 million opening weekend. Remember?
What did let's see what Captain Marvel did opening weekend.
I think they did over 100 million. That's a good question.
153.
150. That's where we were. That's where we were with these solo movies.
Let's see Ant-Man and the Wasp. Just another. They did 75.
Wow.
You'd imagine Black Widow is a more popular character than Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Captain Marvel.
Been around the movie. Scarlett Johansson's a huge star.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say they would expect during normal times for it to be closer to a Captain Marvel than a
absolutely
Ant-Man
150 plus. I mean, people have been waiting for a Black Widow solo movie for years. They're like, why?
I would say they would have probably expected 120.
Okay.
Opening you domestic.
The social media embargo is lifted. I don't know if you call. Everyone's saying it's really good. It's like Mission Impossible meets Marvel action, and
oh really?
Yeah, it's got a lot of
social media embargo.
Social media embargo has been lifted. We're still 2 weeks out for Black Widow, July 9th.
Here's the question for you two.
Yeah,
will you see it at home or in the theater?
That's a good question. This one I'm going to see at home because you can immediately see it at home when it comes out. Now, Snake Eyes, I was going to mention, if people want to see it, theatrical release July 23rd, and then 45 days later will be available on Paramount Plus. That's when I'll be watching that movie, is in 45 days after release on Paramount Plus.
Ruggs, what about you? Theater experience or convenience of the couch?
No, I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm busy that day, if I could go to the theater. I'll fucking go anytime.
I might do both. I might like right away watch it at home.
It's got enough explosions and effects for it to warrant going, you know?
I think I'm going to watch it at home and I'm going to be like, do I want to see this in the theater? Maybe I do. Otherwise, I'll watch it a bunch of times at home. But like, I just love being able to watch it over and over again at home when it comes out.
Disney's charging what, $20?
$30.
$30.
Yeah.
But you would imagine, you're going to watch it multiple times.
I will get my $30
You might be splitting
worth.
it with a couple of people.
Yeah. Well, like in this case, I'm splitting it with you guys. $30.
Right.
We all get to watch it as many times as we want. That's a pretty good deal right there.
Sounds good to me.
I think I might do the theater.
I thought this was going to be the movie that I would go back in the theater, but the fact they're putting it on Disney Plus makes me go, no, I'm just going to watch it at home.
Here's why might do it in the theater. The last movie I saw in the theater was The Father.
Yeah.
But every movie I've seen, prior to The Father, and then I guess Tenet was the one before that, like I always stop, I always check my phone, I always go to the bathroom a bunch of times. Like I never continuously sit through a movie. Movie theaters,
you can't do
very
that.
rarely do I ever leave the theater
well, you
to go
could be
pee.
a little more disciplined at home, you motherfucker. But I see
no,
what
it's
you're
just too it's I don't know what it is about the dark room, being in there.
Yeah.
You just, I feel like I mean, obviously I can't pause it,
Right.
so I just feel
You
like
gotta pay
I'm
attention.
more obligated to pay attention.
Okay, I see. Yeah, psychologically, yeah, I see.
I just don't pay attention as well at home to movies.
You short attention span fuck. Jesus Christ. Just put the phone away and concentrate. It's not hard. I don't know. Whatever. But I see your point.
Then, there's just
I get it.
there's a lot of distractions.
There's a lot of distractions.
He's looking at girls like twerking on TikTok.
There's booties over here. I can't pay attention. I'm going to watch this later.
I actually don't use TikTok all that often.
I think you're getting old for the TikTok.
TikTok's a little too much. The only times I look at TikTok is to see girls dance, but I don't even like seek that out. When I have a friend that's just like, might be a little creepy, but he just sends me girls dancing, and I'm just like, ooh, this is easy. I can just look at these girls dance.
It's a great segue into what are we watching. So Anthony's watching girls dance on TikTok. Yes, anything else?
I feel like I should be watching that too.
Are you watching
that really only takes up like 10 seconds
at
of
a
my
time?
day.
Yes, unless you repeat, let it loop.
I don't think I even expend a minute of my time on TikTok. But
little hits.
Yeah, just little quick hitters.
Are you watching anything else?
I have to admit, I paused the Friends thing.
All right. Yeah, it's gonna be there.
Not that it's like I don't like it, but I don't feel necessarily compelled to just continue all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not a hook on the end of each. It's a sitcom, so there's not a hook.
It's a
for me to
long
continue.
road. Yes.
I'll revisit that. Other than that, I've been just watching like NBA playoffs and stuff that you guys don't care about. So I'm just not going to talk about it.
Rex, what are you watching?
Oh wait, one thing.
Yeah.
I did listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson and Joe Rogan. That was interesting. They did talk about like multiverse and UFOs. And I threw on David Sinclair and Joe Rogan, which so far has been pretty interesting. So,
on Spotify only, right?
On the Spotify's, yes.
Yep. Okay. Okay, Ruggs, what have you been watching?
I watched Mitchell versus the Machines. It's a Netflix animation.
What'd you think? I watched that too. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was a cute little movie. It was fine. It was very predictable.
Yeah.
But it had some moments of laughter and some things here and there.
I love the animation. I thought the animation
I think the animation was pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
And overall, I thought it was okay. Yeah. Not quite. Do you think it's the level of Pixar, or do you think it's just like?
I mean, it's up there. It's the level of Into the Spider-Verse, definitely.
Okay.
It's high-end Sony animation.
It's definitely. It definitely has a lot of bang for its buck.
Yeah. No, I think it does. It can exist up there with Pixar. Speaking of Pixar, did you watch a Pixar movie?
I watched Luca.
Luca, another new Pixar movie like Soul that skipped the theater entirely. And in fact, this one isn't even premiere access. It's just free on Disney Plus. They didn't even.
Right.
What did you think of Luca? I heard it's maybe not the best Pixar movie.
I feel like that they're retreading the same ground a lot. Like I thought it was beautiful, beautifully done. And I love the characters and the acting is great. I just think that this story has been like, they just did this with Frozen.
What is it about?
It's about a boy who lives in the water that's like got overbearing parents. Then he meets a boy, another merman that goes out of the water and onto dry land. And there's a whole world of adventure out there. And he's got to like,
but it takes place in Italy, right? The whole thing.
Yeah, it takes place in Italy, and there's like a whole bunch of Italian, culture and stuff.
It's like their Italian culture movie, Pixar's Italian movie.
Yeah, so it's like, it's one of those like kind of romantic, friendship movies, but it's kind of like hinting at there's a romance between these two boys.
Oh,
kind of.
Wow.
But like Frozen did the same thing. Like Frozen was an allegory for coming out, right?
Right.
Like let it go.
Yeah.
Like like I don't want to be. I'm going to go out on my own. I don't need anything. I'm going to reveal myself. And this is the same kind of story. So it's like I felt like okay, they're doing the same thing over and over again. But I did love the movie. I don't think it's a great film, but I did enjoy it because of the portrayal of Italy and it was romantic and it was just beautiful. And the mother was funny. There's some funny characters in there.
I might check it out. Did you think it's as good as Soul or it's different?
I don't know. It's a sweet film.
Okay.
And there is some emotional acting in it and it's enjoyable. I just feel like it's a retread of stuff. And, just like how many of these can we do? Like revealing yourself movies. Like they already, there's two Frozens of discovering, like everybody's discovering themselves these
Well, but this
movies.
is the Frozen for boys. That was the Frozen for girls. They need one for boys.
Oh, okay.
There you go. All I know is that a lot of these animators are upset that Disney keeps skipping theatrical releases with the Pixar movies because they put a lot of work into these things and they want it to get put out into the theaters. But Disney's like, nope. So their strategy is interesting.
Perhaps I'll check it out.
I might check it out too.
I'm not as into movies right now as I was during Oscar season. So
Right.
I think it's I love the voice acting in this.
Okay.
I like the characters a lot. And I think what it's doing is they do it very well. It's just, I feel like a retread. That's all. I feel like we've had like mermaid movies before. We've had Ponyo. We've had freaking The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. We've had Frozen.
So
we've
it's
had
all
of
those
these
things they're just doing again.
It's just, then,
Interesting.
we've had movies in these romances in Italy, Talented Mr. Ripley,
Right,
Call Me By Your Name.
I thought about Ripley when you're talking about Italy.
So, I feel like that there's a lot of things that's derivative of, but overall, I enjoyed it.
I will
thought
check
was
it
good.
out. Anything else?
Oh, what else did I fucking watch? I watched this. I finished that show, Eden.
Oh yeah, good.
Was conventional, and it kind of like ended part one of the series. I feel like
That's
it's going to
the
continue.
anime, right?
Yeah, it's like a 4-episode anime. About it's very conventional. It's about a world where humans don't exist anymore. And you find out why, and it's one of those things that everything is very convenient.
Oh yeah, with those robots. Right.
Where like the characters are just conveniently, like all the characters you're introduced to are like integral to the plot. There's no other thing that's there.
Okay.
So it's like, so even though I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It just, it could have been so much more, and it wasn't.
Would you recommend that one?
Since it's such a breeze to watch, you can watch it, but it's not going to change your life in any way.
I finished In the Heights, the musical. It's not bad. Right. It's good. It does its thing, and the story. There's a whole section where there's a blackout in New York City. The blackout stuff was great. The story, there's not really like a story or like a plot, really. It just stuff kind of happens, and he's telling the story to these kids, and there's a little twist at the end. So
yeah, there's a twist, but at the end of the day, it's just a story about a guy who owns a store but seems to be poor anyway.
Yeah,
I don't get that. He owns a bodega.
Yeah.
They make money, don't they? They sell lottery tickets. Don't they make money? They don't make money. I guess they don't sell anything. He sells one drink a day. That's all.
That's all. Just coffee. You can't pay the rent on coffee. It was good though. I liked it. I think the music for Hamilton is better, but the choreography and the production and the way they shot it and the one scene where they're dancing on the side of the building is great. That stuff is so much fun.
Yeah. The songs are nowhere near as good.
No,
they're not as memorable.
Correct.
And they do a lot of the talking while singing, and that's really annoying. So those two things.
I don't mind that. Yeah.
I like that pool scene. That was kind of fun.
The pool scene is great choreography, and the rapping parts are pretty good. Like when they do the legit rap verses, it's good. I loved it. So It's good. I would recommend that. Little Dicky Show Dave season 2 started up again on FX. Now, the first season of the show, it was very weird. It's a weird show. It was not what I thought it was going to be. He doesn't really rap at all in the show, and still doesn't, which kind of annoys me, but whatever. The second season is a little bit better. The story is a little more interesting, and the characters are kind of falling into place. So,
do you have to watch the first season to watch the second season?
You kind of do, because it is a continuing story of him and trying to make this record and where these people came from. Yes.
Okay.
But I thought it was getting a little bit better second season. It's good stuff. And then, also, I've caught Rick and Morty's coming back. Season 5, the first episode just aired. That was great.
I might check that out now.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
What's it on?
It's on FX or Cartoon. No, it's on Cartoon Network. Mr. Nimbus. That's all I'm going to say. And then, you guys, pay attention, because I discovered, with the help of my sister, a show that fucking blew me away. Well, my new favorite show. Just an amazing production from England, from Britain, Channel 4, and it's on the Peacock.
But is it on what version of the cock?
It's on the premium cock, I think, because it's an original.
I don't have we don't have the premium cock.
Wait, we might have the premium cock. It's an original. It's an original Peacock original. So
you got the cock? You got the premium cock and didn't tell us?
Well, I have it through my Xfinity Comcast service.
Never mind.
They said that if you were getting the premium if you sign in with your Xfinity login, which I can give you, I will give you to watch this. The show is called We Are Lady Parts. Okay. It's short. It's 6 episodes, 24 minutes, British show on Peacock. It is about an all-female Muslim punk rock group.
Oh, shit.
In London, and the main girl is a character who she wears, she's a conservative Muslim, and it's all largely South Asian cast. This is a show that's entirely about Muslim characters in London, as a matter of fact. I've never seen anything like this, right? So the story revolves around this one girl whose parents are kind of liberal, but she wears a headscarf and she teaches guitar. She plays guitar. She teaches guitar, but she's trying to land a religious, traditional husband, an arranged marriage, and it's not working out. And the band needs a guitar player, and she eventually meets up with them and stuff happens. But oh my God, this is a show where one of the girl characters is in complete hijab the whole time. You just see her eyes, and it's just a matter of fact. It's just another thing. Like there's a part where they question it, but it works in, but it's just, you never see her. She's just in hijab. Some of the characters have a headdress. Some of them don't. There are South Asian characters that I can relate to, and it's showing you the Muslims in England. And then here's the kicker. Here's the thing that made me cry. There is a minor character whose name is fucking Imran.
Oh, shit.
Now, let me tell you, I have never heard my name just used as a character's name, like a Steve or a Mike or a John. They could have picked, and there was a fucking character named Imran, and I almost fucking cried. I was like, oh my God, this is a British show. So the Muslim community is more integrated in the UK. Obviously, it's more a matter of fact, and it's presented as if people know a lot more about Islam there than they do here. It's very interesting, but holy shit, the main girl, so funny. So great comedic timing. It is written so well. In these short 6 episodes, these characters are so well fleshed out. I knew who all of them were. I knew how they would react. I got to learn to love them. They had a scene in a wedding where the men and the women are separated on different sides, just like it is at the weddings I go to. I was like, I can't believe I'm watching this on TV. This is fucking nuts. It's a fantastic show. Quick watch, super charming. Just well done. Stories that have never been told. Shit I've never seen on TV. And I need a US version of this. And I think maybe Miss Marvel, maybe the first thing that gets close to something like this stateside. Rami on Hulu was similar, but this was South Asian people. This is like Indian, Pakistani people. There's a couple of black Muslims, but it was Muslims from all different races coming together. And like these girls they're playing punk rock music. They're smoking weed, but then they're praying too. And they also like get, it's wild. It was so good. It was so good. Oh my God. I was fucking blown away. I was like, I can't believe this show exists.
I am not surprised that Imran blew his load.
We Are Lady Parts. Check it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure it's good. I also think it's Imran. This is Imran. This is
Imran.
Imran.
This is textbook Imran.
It is,
Yeah,
but
this-
listen, it is the thing where
Like if Kumail Nanjiani was in the series, like Imran would just have been blasted off into the stratosphere.
Kumail had didn't he have a TV show? What was he in?
He was in something.
I mean, we definitely just witnessed or we just listened to Imran just blast into Venus.
Like,
for a little
I'm
bit
sure
there.
the show is great. I
It
want
is
to check
great.
it out.
No,
Actually,
it's good.
yeah.
It's legit good. I'm saying, aside
Yeah.
from all that, it is. I'll tell you what, the direction has the energy of like Edgar Wright TV show. It's very Edgar Wright.
I don't understand what it is. What is it about?
It's about an all-female Muslim punk band
Okay.
trying to find a lead guitarist, and it's also about living in.
Is it real? Is it a
No,
is
it's
it,
a
is it-
half-hour like comedy drama, scripted.
Oh, okay.
It's scripted, but
I just got lost in your enthusiasm that I forgot
it's
what
a
we were
scripted
what the
half-hour
concept of the
drama.
show
You will
was.
love these characters, but it deals with like living in the two cultures and being able to play guitar and still be Muslim and not look down. It's fantastic. She has these imaginative asides and flashbacks. It's such a good show, but representation matters. I'd never seen anything like that. We've seen. It blew me away. So I feel my sister also made this point is that Canada and UK, in terms of representation on their TV shows, they are way ahead than Hollywood is here. You know,
Sure.
we've just
Yeah, for
gotten
sure.
like a
Well-
fresh off the boat and stuff. But this,
You don't think it has anything to do with percentage of people and population? Nothing to do with that.
It does have to do with that, where there is a higher percentage of Muslims there, and they've been there, and they're
It's a
integrated.
smaller place,
and it's a
yeah,
smaller
there's
place.
more of
yes.
them there.
Smaller place, more of them there. They have been integrated more into the mainstream culture, but to see that understanding in a show, and it's not here. It's weird.
I'll say this: I'm happy that there's a show that would make you feel this way.
I feel seen,
and I hope I hope there's shows like this for everyone.
Yes.
That
I
was-
just
That's
find
what
it.
I'm saying.
I find it hilarious because we've been doing this show for like 5 years, and every 2 months, Imran will come back. Did you see this show?
This is the best
It's
show
thing.
ever.
It's the best show ever. It's an all Muslim cast, and then like 5 years later, he's like, they've never done this before. I'm like, you just told us for the past 5 years of a new show. It was like the night before, and then it was Rami, then it was this,
yeah,
then it
but
was
this
that.
is okay.
so-
This one has a
Miss
character.
Marvel's coming out.
This has Miss Marvel. Actually, there's a dude.
I'm sure that the show is great. I'm sure that it's.
They have a
amazing.
character named Imran. I've never seen that. I've never heard my name in an English speaking proper TV show like that and pronounced correctly too.
Good. I'm happy. It's just I had to laugh at your
I
enthusiasm.
want everyone to watch this on
you
Peacock.
need to clean yourself up after
Yeah.
this. I mean, you might have to check your pants.
Oh boy. Geek Boner. It's what? Listen, in the next month there'll be another Muslim show that I'll cream over. But right now, we are Lady Parts. The band's name is Lady Parts, and even the songs they write are great.
But there's no representation at all, right? So it's
There's
just
no
not-
representation. There is like one white person on the show. It's fantastic.
It's great.
I just know. I'm just comparing you to me, and although I would be happy if to see like a Filipino doing something big.
Yeah.
I like Jacob Batalon is in Spider-Man
Oh
Homecoming.
yeah. You don't give a shit.
I just don't react with the enthusiasm. You like Camille Nanjiani, Miss Marvel, this show, whatever the fuck, Riz Ahmed.
Yeah.
You just
Aziz
ride
Ansari,
so hard.
You got Hassan
you ride so
Minhaj.
hard for the brown people that are like have anything like any sort of affiliation to being Muslim or Hindu. Like it's
No,
just
not
it's
the
just fun to
Hindus,
see.
just the Muslims.
It becomes funny because
Yeah.
you know what's coming.
Yeah,
like
we know.
like,
Yeah, we see the reaction.
I had no idea we are Lady Parts. I never heard of it before, but
Yeah,
I'm like,
me neither.
I'm like a rolling the dice on this one that is I said it's going to be having to do something to do with his culture. Yeah, that he's gonna. That's
right.
what the show is about.
Yeah.
Well, I actually didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be like some cartoon about like sex, and I thought this is also something Imran would just go fucking nuts over. Is some vulgar cartoon about sex?
It's about a talking vagina and boobs. We are Lady Parts.
I could see you going nuts
No,
over that.
that is
too.
that other show, Big Mouth.
That's that show,
Yeah, Big Mouth. That's
yeah,
Big Mouth.
which you also very much
That's a
like.
good show, and that's fucking crazy. But we are Lady Parts. Just give it a chance. You'll like it. Anyways, I'm done.
Oh, I don't
I'm
have the
creamed.
cock.
You'll have the cock. I'll give you the cock.
Neither do
I'll
I.
give you my cock. It's fine. For this show, I want to give you my cock. Okay, out this week, if you want something, your Amazon Prime member, The Tomorrow War.
Does it have Muslims in it?
No, it's got Chris Pratt
I'm
in
not
it.
watching it now.
It
I'm
doesn't.
principal.
And it has 7 Kumail Nanjianis playing different roles. No, it's all brown people. No, it's Chris Pratt. Action sci-fi movie about they pull people from the past to fight this war in the future against aliens. Anyways, it's a big Amazon original. It's probably gonna suck just like Infinite. I don't know. I'll give it a watch because it's the Chris Pratt. And then theatrical, June 25th, Fast 9 finally releases in the U.S. This movie has been out internationally for like a month. It's already made $292 million.
Oh,
shit. Overseas already coming in. So I think that's the big one this week. Everyone's going to go see Fast 9.
Yeah, Fast 9 should be pretty.
I'm not going to the theater to see that.
I'm not going to the theater to see that.
I've skipped out on the last like 2 or 3 Fast and Furious movies, and I really enjoyed them. I have no interest anymore.
I think it's going to do big bucks.
I think it's run its course for me for sure.
Yeah.
No Paul Walker. That's it. Forget it.
I think I quit after Paul Walker left.
I mean,
He died.
Well, Sorry, he
he
died.
quit. He quit life. Yes, Anthony.
He quit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Jesus.
He went.
God
He,
damn
read,
it.
he was like, "This script is no good. I'm leaving."
He's like, I'm done with these Fast 9 movies. Jesus, this got
Son of a
dark.
bitch.
But look, I think it's just the movie seems to just get more and more ridiculous and cartoony, and people.
Yeah, I
people are
mean,
taking
you know what
that.
you're getting.
Yeah,
You know what you're getting. I mean, this movie's. I think the whole concept is John Cena's his brother.
Yeah.
Which we've had 10 movies or whatever the hell it's
Where
been.
has he
8
been?
movies. Yeah, where's the hell's he been?
I mean, the last one wasn't like Dominic Toretto evil for some reason.
For a little bit, I never saw it. I never seen Hobbs and Shaw. Hobbs and
I
Shaw
saw
either.
that.
So.
That was all right. It's all right. It feel like every movie is the same. Like I've seen everything in all the movies. It's the same movie over and over again. There's cars flying and flipping and
What it's done is, I think I've said this before on the show though, is they've taken the concept of like what the Expendables was trying to do and just made it like with modern stars.
yeah, billion dollar
get, like,
franchise.
Let's just get like hot girls and like the most masculine men in Hollywood and put them in a movie with fast cars and stunts.
There you go.
Whatever.
You'll make $1 billion. Also, this week it's Cinema Week. Apparently, this is the first actual. They're doing a thing called Cinema Week to get people out. I saw a thing, AMC offering free refills on popcorn during Cinema Week, which I don't understand. Getting refills during a movie, because then don't you miss shit? Like it doesn't make sense.
So some people really like their popcorn.
Yeah, but we're gonna run out and you're gonna fucking miss things.
Free popcorn, Imran.
Free refills.
But
I'm
You're
going
talking
you
to the
get free
fattest
room.
nation in the world.
That's a good point.
Right?
No.
That's a good point. I'm
Biggest
just going for
asses
the,
per
I'm just
capita.
going for the popcorn.
All right?
Fuck the movie. Give me all the free popcorn.
No one in America has seen their penis. All right?
It's there
Or
somewhere.
vagina.
Yes. I know
By looking
it's there.
down. Yes.
I can kind of feel it.
So, yeah,
Okay.
free popcorn's going to happen.
Free popcorn, Cinema Week this week. Go out, enjoy. That's it. Anyways, Rugs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy, where I'm just trying to start arguments with people for no apparent reason. And I'm shitting all over Godzilla Singular Point because I finally finished that. Oh, should have mentioned that earlier, but Godzilla Singular Point came out.
Is it out in the U.S. now?
It's going to be out this Thursday on Netflix.
See, but I don't even want to watch it after all the stuff you've told us about it.
It's not terrible.
Oh.
It's just what happens is really quickly. When people say something is great and it's not, it bothers me. All right. It just does.
Okay.
People have to say, like, I think, Lensations saw it. And he's like, I like a lot about it, but it's not the greatest. And I'm like, okay, well, that's honest at least. He's like, he's conscious of the fact that, yes, there were some things that you need to see that are fun and interesting, but it's also, a lot of us are sitting there going, what the fuck is this? This doesn't, like, I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. It's a little bit like Tenet, where like you're annoyed, like that you're not enjoying it because there's just so much talking going on and explanations and mathematical bullshit. And then you want it to pay off. And the end is kind of like a weird ending too. I can't get behind it being the greatest thing to ever grace Godzilla fucking that's what they're saying now. It's like this is the best thing in like since Shin Godzilla. They make that argument, it's all like automatically like, okay, they're just all right, whatever. Basically whatever Japan does is flawless. That's what it says to me.
Anthony, will you check this out?
No.
Really? Wow. See, there you go.
No, because Ruggs has already mentioned, I guess, spoiler, but he's in the guy that I want to watch is only in it for a very short amount of time. Yeah.
That's why I'm not interested either.
You don't have to watch the whole, how many hours of it, 6 hours of it or 5.5 hours of it to see like I'm going to say maybe 9 minutes of Godzilla and maybe only a few minutes of him actually doing anything, like fighting a monster. Is like they like literally will cut to Godzilla. He's surrounded in red mist, and then you'll see like maybe 20 seconds of something happening, and then they'll never cut back to it again. And then they just go on with the story.
It's like 3 hours of talking, basically.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Sounds great.
So
I have no interest. This is the second.
You can. This is what I would tell you, Anthony. I would just watch clips, like watch like, the 2 minutes of it,
okay.
and then enjoy that. And then that will get you. You don't have to watch the series. You can watch it right now. You go on to Netflix and go ending. Godzilla scenes from Singular Point, and you'll watch 6 minutes, and you'll be done.
That's all you see.
I mean, not that they're definitely not trying to cater to me, but there's a clear disconnect between what I think people want to see and what they're putting out in terms of these animated things for Godzilla. Because
who are they putting this out for then?
I don't understand the thought process between this one and then the whatever the hell that other Godzilla thing was.
The
called.
argument is like, oh, but they had this like theoretical physicist write it. I'm like, yeah, but it's still like just as dumb. It's not any like. Godzilla like blowing a hole into the earth in Godzilla versus Kong, how dumb that is, or the fact that they have some energy that they could fucking like teleport or something, or they can recreate with a code. That's no more stupid than what's happening in this. It's like, it's just as dumb. It's just that they have some mathematical hoo-ha to explain it, but like, it's still just as dumb, like improbable.
Yeah.
So,
sounds like a pass for me. Yes.
Yeah. There is interesting stuff. I'm not saying that's completely devoid of cool stuff. There's plenty of cool stuff to see, but I don't think the sum of its parts make it the greatest thing that's ever happened in the past 10 years or whatever, like they say. I think it's one of those things that you might not like, or you might like, or there's things to like, but I don't know. If you like it, that's fine. Doesn't mean it's good.
Sounds like diarrhea to me.
Sounds just like some wet, explosive diarrhea.
Speaking of diarrhea, listener, stay tuned until after the music for a little special bonus surprise. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Spread the show, share it with a friend. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Yes. I see that you know your judo well.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. That's really good.
Jock and Nerd.
All right, yo. This is old school playground shit. You remember? Oh yeah. Sing along if you feel like it. Let's go. When you're running into first, and your pants begin to burst, what the fuck is that? It's diarrhea. When you're running into second, and you need a disinfectant, what the fuck is that? It's diarrhea. When you're running into third, and you're laying out a turd, what the fuck is that? It's diarrhea. When you run into home and you're making brown foam, what the fuck is that? It's diarrhea, bitch. It's diarrhea. It's diarrhea, bitch. It's diarrhea. Go tell your mom. If you're sitting on a ladder and you hear something splatter, it's diarrhea. Bitch, it's diarrhea. You're sitting in a well, and it smells like hell. What the fuck is that? It's diarrhea. If you don't know about diarrhea, I can't tell you about shit. If you don't know about diarrhea, I can't tell you about shit. If you don't know about diarrhea, I can't tell you about shit. If you don't know about diarrhea, then what the fuck is all this shit? What the fuck is that? Diarrhea. What the fuck is that? It's diarrhea. What the fuck is that shit? It's diarrhea. Peace out. Hey, Mom. Word to your mom. Hey, Dad. And say hi to Dad, too. Yeah, and tell Uncle Joe that he's alright. Yeah. What about Uncle Griselda? Tell him to stop borrowing money from me. Alright, bye.